All right, welcome everyone to a Story Trading Weekly Meetup, July 18th. We got special guest Mark Gomes on to talk about AIR and IRIX. But before we do that, quick disclaimer. Story Trading is not an investment advisor. That goes for all of our guests, including Mark Gomes. Investing in securities involves significant risk of loss. This presentation, parts of it will be recorded, parts of it will be made available first to VIP members, and parts of it will then go on social media in the coming days. So just want to have that disclaimer up there for everyone. Before we get started, let's review what a story trade is. Story trading, the whole concept of story trading is to understand market pricing through the lens of the four pillars: fundamentals, catalysts, sentiment, and technicals, and thereby having a good idea of what the story behind market pricing and the trade is. Our upcoming app is going to be a place to discover, collaborate, and validate market moving information through crowdsourced research and social collaboration. So make sure to go to storytrading.com and sign up from our email list and the wait list for the private beta, which is going to be coming out soon. The two stocks we're talking about tonight, AIR and IRIX, are both VIP picks. AIR was chosen by Ashley Day and IRIX by Aaron Warwick. So you can go over to storytrading.com, hit that menu, click on VIP picks. You'll see all of our VIP picks historically and the performance over there. Cool. We're running late. Originally, we were supposed to talk about IRIX mostly today, but AIR had that awesome conference call Thursday night. So, Mark, did you want to talk to us about IRIX? Real quick, just as a reminder, IRIX, last trade 629. This was chosen by Aaron Warwick as a VIP pick. It's down 14% since April 11th, but you had something interesting that you brought to the attention of your room, the pro research room that you handle over there. And I just wanted you to have a chance to talk about that.
Sure. This would be a lot quicker. So this is cool that we went a little over. So basically, we've got two things that we need to look at. So I'm not going to get into too many details, but suffice it to say that Iridex, IRIX, focuses in the space where you have these procedures in the retina and also for glaucoma. Those are the two major categories that they deal with. Okay. Retina is pretty well defined. The competition is pretty well defined. The valuations are lower in that space relative to glaucoma, and that's an understatement. In the glaucoma space, the most well-known company is Glaukos, GKOS, and they trade, with a huge revenue multiple. Somewhere maybe around 15x. Okay. 10 times the revenue multiple of Iridex. Okay. Now they're solely focused on glaucoma. Iridex isn't, so you have to take that into account, right? But Iridex's valuation does not reflect the extra valuation that is assigned to glaucoma. Why is that, by the way? Real briefly, I believe there's been a supply-demand imbalance in the shares, and I love that. We saw that in Smith Micro, when they did their raise for the acquisition. We saw that here with Iridex, where there was a large shareholder that was clearing out shares. Whenever there's an unnatural supply of shares that hits the market that has nothing to do with fundamentals, I buy, period. And I almost always make money. It's like an 85-90% hit rate in terms of making money. In the 10% where I miss is when the fundamentals actually aren't the same, that the selling or the raise was because something wrong was coming. Nothing wrong is happening here with Iridex. It's quite the opposite. In fact, if you've heard me talk about them before, if you checked out the prior story trading presentations on it, you know that this company has pent-up demand for their products because of COVID. This is elective surgery, not a required surgery, and elective surgeries got stopped during COVID, and they just piled up. Demand didn't go away; it just pent up. So now they got all this pent-up demand for these procedures. Not only that, but they're one of the strongest competitors, if not the strongest competitor they have, became a partner. So they partnered up with their biggest enemy, and demand in the marketplace has swelled to levels that it's going to take a long time to catch up on it. So these guys, the original story that got me into the stock, when I looked at it, I said, shit, these guys are going to kill at least the next 4 quarters. They're going to kill the next 4 quarters at least. And they killed the last quarter. That was one. We got like 2, 3, 4 more to go. I don't have to worry at night about their quarters. Their quarters are going to be great for the next few quarters. Period. Okay. So now, what's that worth? Okay. So I've got safety. What's that worth? And we've got the glaucose as a valuation, showing us a little bit of the way. We have strength in the Iridex glaucoma space. You can see that in their transcript. They are seeing traction there. I've actually been on webinars, and there's a lot of professionals out there saying, yes, this is actually a better way to do procedures for glaucoma. And I can get into the reasons why, but I actually know from my athletic background as an athlete, there have been solutions that have similar types of technology, micropulsing, not of a laser for an eye, but for treating muscular injuries. And trust me, it works. It just, that concept in general makes sense. And so that explains to me why they're seeing increased demand for glaucoma. They're just not getting credit for it yet. Again, that supply-demand situation giving us the opportunity to sneak in where other people aren't paying attention. So you get this huge valuation for glaucose. And now, on top of it, we have an IPO coming from a company called Sight Sciences. Okay. Now, Sight Sciences, in the latest quarter, their revenue rose 32% from 6.5 million to 8.6 million. Okay. And they're estimated to get $1 billion valuation. That's close to a 30x EV to sales multiple. Yes, 30. Okay. In contrast, Iridex recorded a first quarter revenue of 12 million, much more than Sight Sciences, an increase of 33% from 9 million a year ago period. And their EV to sales is not 30, it's 1.6. Okay. So here again comes a situation where the math tells me what to do. The story is out. I can explain why the stock isn't higher, and that's the supply-demand situation. I love it when all those pieces come together, right? And then just to top it all off, this is new. Since Ben and I talked about actually doing this, I don't even know if he knows about this, but glaucose had some really bad news come through. The insurance companies aren't going to be so kind about reimbursing their solution. And the reason is they're not so sure that the solution is as efficacious, as critical, as important as they originally thought. I can get into the details about that, but we'd be getting into the weeds. Suffice it to say, I've looked into the issue. I believe that it is a real issue. And what it does is, very least, even if that smoke clears for glaucose, it's introduced a situation where people are going to have to say, maybe it's time for us to look at this Iridex. Okay, so it gives them a shot in the arm in terms of getting in the door. Whereas before, people were saying, oh, glaucose. Now they're going to say, maybe not glaucose. What else is out there? Oh, Iridex, let's check that out. Okay, so that's a really nice catalyst that can come on top of everything else. On top of the quarters are going to be stronger. On top of the competitors become a partner. And on top of the fact that they've got a new comp out in the marketplace that's going to come with an EV multiple that's 20 times what theirs is. So that gives me great confidence that this stock is worth at least double today. And as far as a price target, triple where it is right now. So I love right now where my portfolio is. I've got a number of stocks that each of which can triple very easily with very little risk. And all I need to do is buy a good chunk of each one, sit back, and not worry about which one I end up being wrong on. If I go 3 for 4, I'm going to be rich. If I go 2 for 4, I'm going to be rich. If I go 4 for 4, I'm going to be really rich. If I go 1 for 4, well, I don't remember the last time I was ever 1 for 4. It's just when you do research, you just don't miss 3 free throws in a row. Just ask Larry Bird.
Nice, Mark. And that IPO comparison you brought up, the reason I wanted you to talk about that, I think that's important for sentiment, especially when there's an IPO. If this
Yep.
gets around to retail, they look at that. There's excitement over IPOs. Very often, these stocks run up prior to the IPO, and sometimes it becomes sell the news events on the IPO day. So just different trade ideas to think about. I don't know the details of that IPO or when it is. There's a link I threw up about it, and it's Site Sciences. So that's
Light
excellent
sciences.
information. Yeah, you're sharing with us. Thank you. Before we get into the Q&A, real quick, just wrapping up a couple slides. Events coming up. You go to storytrading.com, click on events up there. You'll see we have Dario, CEO, coming this Wednesday, I believe at 3 p.m. Eastern. So you can check on that. We have a constant flow of great events here at Story Trading. Please follow us on Twitter and YouTube. Like, retweet things. It helps get the word out. So with that, we're going to go to our VIP section. We'll have a Q&A with Mark. I know it's late where he is, so we'll try to make it short. You can also continue collaborating if you're a VIP member in the IRIX and AIR research groups and in the VIP chat room. We'll talk about the Surfside collapse. We brought it up a couple weeks ago in terms of trade ideas. We'll give you an update on that. And we'll get into trade of the week. Last week, AIR was trade of the week that I picked, and up 25%. So hopefully we'll have another great trade of the week segment today. So thank you, everyone. And we're going to move into our VIP section now.